to Answers Unleashed, a talk show to help you reshape your brain with science and faith so you find the answers in front of you. Hi, I am your host, Olympia LePoint. Have you ever watched the media and knew that diversity was important, but you didn't necessarily see it from what you were seeing on TV? Well, today's episode deals with showing you diversity and highlighting people of color through a magazine and through a editor-in-chief of a magazine that we're going to talk about today. I'm excited. Today's guest is Alexia McKay. Alexia McKay is the editor-in-chief of RoyalTee Magazine. That's Royal and T spelled T-E-E Magazine, where she highlights people of color, leaders of color, and she shares not only with the world brilliant people of color who are doing great things, but she also, through her company, gears and provides information to those corporate leaders in the media so they know exactly how to highlight people of color in the media in a profound way. I'm excited to give you information in today's talk show about our special guest, Alexia McKay. And so if you will welcome Alexia McKay, I'm going to bring her here. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this board. And I'm going to bring her here so you can see her. Alexia, welcome to Answers Unleashed. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you, Olympia?
I am well, and thank you so much for being online. Now, if you don't know, we normally would have a radio show in a radio studio, but we're not doing that. This is a pandemic, so we're being creative, and we're using our online Zoom technology right here. So hopefully it will come out with a great video for you to watch and replay over and over again. Now, the great news is that we have our special guest. Now, let me tell you about our special guest. Alexia is a leader in journalism, a leader in magazine publications, a leader within consulting with making sure that organizations have the right information when it comes to diversity in the media. Now, Alexia has been a part of award-winning news programs for daytime news, for afternoon news, evening news on CBS, on CBS with affiliates of CBS, on ABC, on Spectrum. And she left those jobs to create something that was profound, which is her magazine, which is RoyalTee Magazine. And this July, she has a brand new magazine coming out with a celebrity on its cover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through her background, give you an opportunity to learn more about her, and we're going to find out about this magazine, and she's going to offer tips for everyone to take with them when they're looking at TV as well as when they're programming for TV. So, Alexia, you have an amazing background in journalism, and it started with your education in Florida. Yeah, tell us about this education. And you studied magazine publications in college, but you ended up going into news after graduating. Walk us through your particular story.
Yes, I was actually studying magazine production. I went to Florida A&M University, FAMU, in Tallahassee, Florida. And when I came to college, it was my whole ideal to just be like, I want to move to New York and I just want to write for a major publication. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Vogue, People, Cosmo, GQ, Essence. I don't care. In style, I just want to write my life away and die. That was really my plan. Die old. And I was really a big fan of just Sex in the City, like Carrie Bradshaw. I wanted the Carrie Bradshaw life, but not her man problems, but more so I wanted that lifestyle. And what I loved about magazines was that I can do what I love to do, which is basically write. Growing up, I was always the bookworm. I was always the writer, writing poetry, writing short stories. And so obviously a career in journalism seemed ideal, and this magazines intrigued me because it gave you the opportunity to create something from the ground up in your own vision and creativity and produce amazing product, produce something that was great. But of course,
and you were producing
okay,
something that was great. You were producing, well, first you were in magazines, but then walk us through how you got into news, and then not only just news for major news. I mean, so audience, I want to share, this is major news. This is CBS, this is ABC, this is Spectrum. This is like major news. This is not something in which you just walk off the walk out of the door of a university and land these type of jobs. Walk us through that. How'd you get into that?
Well, I got my junior year in college, I obtained an internship at the CBS affiliate in my home, well, not my hometown, my college town. And I originally came for the reporter internship, but I didn't like it. So I went to the news director, and I was just like, is there anything else I can do that would require me to stay inside and I don't have to carry all these cameras? And I still want to tell stories. I just want to stay put doing it for now. And I was led on and exposed to television producing. And for the next 10 years, that was really my career. And what I
Wow.
enjoyed about television producing, and I can't sit here and say that it's not a passion, because I did enjoy television, enjoy producing news content, was the creative aspect of it, in the various ways you could tell a story, which really landed the framework for royalty without me even realizing it. It gave me, being a television producer, it has taught me leadership skills. It taught me time management. It taught me how to create a story from the beginning and seeing it executed all the way to the end. It taught me how to look for stories. It's taught me how to just get those in-depth angles of things that the public and people want to know about. And it also honed in my creative aspect, because like I said, from day one, I've always been a very creative person. So to allow myself to work in a career that allowed me to exercise that creativity and taking those skills and doing what I'm doing today, I'll forever be grateful for working in television for that.
I truly believe that all of our past experiences add to where we're going to go. And you were in television. You had the ability to highlight news stories, but you saw that there was a deficit, meaning you saw that there was something that was needed in news stories that wasn't necessarily being readily told. And the conversation that I had with you before was that you saw diversity, a lack of diversity when it came to great news, when it came to making sure that people of color had the equal playtime of great news stories. Walk us through that. Walk us through what you were seeing in the newsrooms and seeing in your particular news stories, and that moment in time where you realized, I need to highlight people of color who are doing great things.
Of course, while working in the news industry, of course, as a journalist, you have to report to news. You have to state the facts. You can't just ignore things. I'm just going to put that out as a disclaimer. But when you're reporting news, is particularly hard news in major markets, you come across all types of stories, and particularly when there were stories about African Americans, every time there was a story about people of color, there were more mug shots than actual
Ooh,
images.
that's tough.
It
That's
was
tough to see as a person of color.
always something about crime. And of course, with the atmosphere that we have with police and everything, it's just a lot of negativity and a lot of trauma and a lot of just not so good things. And it did not reflect the overall picture of what I saw in my community and who I see in around this people around me who are doing such incredible, positive, and empowering things. We didn't see enough of that in the news. And I tell people all the time, as a fellow member of the National Association of Black Journalists, where I'm the vice president of print, as a journalist of color, we have to literally fight for our story to be heard. And if we're not going to tell our story, then who is? Whose responsibility is it? Which is something that I carry on with royalty, because I have this platform as I'm the storyteller. It's my responsibility to do to the best of my ability to report the stories of our community
Well, you
and
took
of
on
our
that
people.
responsibility. You took
Yeah.
on that responsibility, and it was through a decision. There were I always talk about in my books. There's usually that fractal moment, that decision making moment where you have a decision in front of you, and that you can go either way. You can go this direction or this direction, and it's like almost where time stands still, where at that moment you make a decision, and that decision changes the rest of your life, and that rest of your life is that quantum deciding process where it's decision after decision after decision that leads you on this road. Now, I want to acknowledge your great work. You have established RoyalTee Magazine, and there was a moment in time where you saw that you needed to do this. Take us back with you. What happened then?
Well, you talk about our quantum decision. The spark that really led to that was really in 2015. 2015, when I was still working, of course, in television news. And here I am, just like so frustrated, like, oh my God, why are we not doing this story? Why are we not doing this story? And I'm not going to say who, but a fellow person that I worked with was just like, well, if you want to have stories like that, then you may need to create something of your own, or you may need to go somewhere else. And when you hear things like that, I'm the type of person, I said, okay, challenge accepted, noted. I'll keep that in mind. And it was just a manifestation. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm with that information, but I'm going to do something with it eventually. And even going back further, when I was in college, although I had my Carrie Bradshaw business plan laid out, I call it the Carrie Bradshaw business plan. I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own, even back then. But I really admire Oprah, I admire Gayle King, I admire Robin Roberts. So like, I wanted to be like those women. They inspired me in media. And people would be like, well, what would you do? I don't know. Maybe I'm on a TV show, magazine. I don't know. We'll see. But I just know I want to do something. So that was the initial. I don't know. Well, how are you going to get there? I don't know, but I know I need a job. Hello.
Oh no, but I know I'm going. I'm going to get there. I have no idea. Well, I want to acknowledge you are a very successful editor-in-chief. Editor-in-chief.
And the publisher.
RoyalTee Magazine. And by the way, the colors of RoyalTee Magazine, if you have not guessed, is purple. I am wearing purple today to honor your accomplishments.
So beautiful.
Let me say that correctly. I'm wearing purple to honor your accomplishments and to honor the great new magazine that is coming out at the end of July with a celebrity on the cover. Tell us about your magazine, RoyalTee Magazine. Tell us about this particular cover. Tell us about the great news that is coming, that people can purchase, the magazine that people can purchase at the end of July. And tell us about it.
Of course. Well, first of all, let's talk about purple for a moment. Aside from it being my favorite color, as you can see, my nails are purple, my romper's purple, you're purple, everything is purple. But it also has a deeper meaning because royalty, of course, purple is a regal color. And it's a constant reminder of heritage, to remind my audience of where you come from, because RoyalTee targets, of course, we're a magazine that targets millennial and Gen Z audience, majority of color, who are making strides in business, arts, humanitarian work, whether that's through entrepreneurial endeavors or whether that's through your career or your community. And so purple is a reminder of just saying that our history and our legacy did not start in chains and genocide. It started creating empires and royalty. That's where purple comes from. And the TEE, to triumph, to evolve, to be elite. It's a daily affirmation that every time you say royalty, it's an affirmation to yourself to triumph, to win, to accomplish, to overcome. Wherever you're going through, whatever obstacle or tribulation that you're going through in your life, it's a reminder that you will triumph over that. You will triumph over your enemies. You will triumph over those setbacks and those pitfalls that we go through in life, because you do go through them. The greatest people, the most successful people, they failed at one point in time to get to where they are. So accepting failure and triumphing over that, evolving.
So purple is royalty, and you brought that purple into the color of your latest the cover of your latest issue.
Yes, the cover.
Tell me about this.
Which led to the theme of the magazine is evolve, because that's what the second E stands for, to triumph, to involve. So this magazine is all about the celebration of you, your evolution and your involvement, whether that's your growth mentally, spiritually, financially, professionally. Wherever there has been growth in your life, we are celebrating that. We're celebrating that evolution in you as a person, no matter how small or big the milestone is. And our cover feature Miss Kyla Pratt, a very well-known actress.
Wow, yes. She and I have the same publicity team. They are like amazing, by the way.
Yes, shout out to Icon Media for Icon PR.
They did a great job.
Yes, and it was so much fun shooting with her in the various looks that we had. She was such a fun and bubbly person to work with, and that's what always intrigues me when I'm working with different people, especially celebrities. It's like, oh my God, they're so stuck up. People don't, they're really not. It's like this, she's the sweetest person ever, and we celebrate her. And as well as other individuals in the magazine. For Kyla, we celebrate her not only as an actress, we celebrate her as a mother. She has 2 adorable daughters. We celebrate her as an entrepreneur. We celebrate her just as a woman and her evolving over life, from being that child actress to being the royal woman that she is, and is looking beyond that and celebrating. We're celebrating beauty inside and out. We're just all about celebration this issue, and it's really encouraging her story and what she talks about, and just about her mental growth and your mindset, which comes with evolving. Because like I said, our magazine is based on majority millennials, and most millennials are at that age where we're still, some millennials are still trying to figure it out, others are pretty much there. We're still kind of like all over the place or whatnot. So it's so empowering to hear other.
You have great stories in the cover story. What was the most interesting thing that you found out about Mrs. Pratt's her thinking with evolution, which is your theme? What is your major epiphany after doing a story on that cover story? What was your insight there? I'm sure many people would want to know.
I was left feeling very encouraged. Why? Because she's a type of person who's very transparent and very humble, that, hey, I make mistakes and I don't know what I'm doing half of the time. And most of the times when I don't know what I'm doing, people think I know what I'm doing, but I play it off so well because I'm an actress, but you have no idea knowing that I don't know what I'm doing. I suffer from these self-esteem, like these insecurities about, she suffers from some insecurities, like about her voice, like just growing up, like her voice, she didn't like the way she sounded or sometimes, but just learning how to embrace those little things that we all come to love about her. And it really made me look at my own life, because I have some certain insecurities, and it's like some things I'm insecure about, people love me for. And I'm just like, seriously? And it established that relatability, which is what people can see in royalty. When you open up a magazine, whether you go on our magazine, our website, our social media, we're everywhere, you all, you can have that relatability. You can feel empowered. You can feel encouraged. And royalty is a family, to let you know that you're not the only one who's going through what you're going through. We're all going through it. We're all triumphing. We're all of
us. We're
all trying to be elite. Yeah.
In the pandemic, especially. And we saw a lot of diversity related news during the pandemic, everything from George Floyd and finding out about
Taylor.
It was very hard for people of color to actually watch the media, especially last summer, especially seeing everything that was going on. What I enjoy about your particular company is that you not only create a magazine for people to read, and I'm just going to claim it right now for you. I have always loved your work. The reason why I have you on this show is because you are excellent at what you do. I only have people on my show who are brilliant. They are the excellence in our community, in our professionalisms, and leaders. And I have you on the show because I see your magazine going top notch. I see your magazine being international. I see it in the next 5 and 10 years as being a major player and major force competing with some of the top names that are out there. And so with that, I see great things for your business, for your company. And I also value the fact that you, with your brand and with your corporation and company rather, that you go out there and you guide with consulting these large corporations on how to address the people of color need to see positive, enriching content. Tell us more about what your plans are in the future of being out there and helping these executives understand how to create stories that are content rich, educational, and exciting and entertaining for all people, which features people of color.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you. I am claiming that international.
I'm telling you that I can see the future.
I'm going to add that to my vision board. But the first thing I would say is to remember the bigger picture. It's not just this one individual, this one product, this one event. It's a bigger picture to what you are seeking to cover beyond that. It is a community, it is a culture, it is a generation. And when you start looking at a story like that and looking at content like that, it will resonate deeper within you. And it would make for a better story and what you're looking for. The second is just coming in with an open mind, learning ears and learning eyes. Listen, observe, speak less. Just be willing to learn, a willingness to learn, and open yourself to new ideas, new cultures, different mindsets. And this is not to say just a willingness to learn as if you have to be forcibly agree upon it. You could respectfully not agree or not feel something. Of course, if something's totally offensive, then call that out too. But be open to, because royalty does not promote any racism, prejudice, discrimination, or things like that.
Royalty is a high quality magazine, and I was so honored. You interviewed me on your Instagram live.
How we had such an empowering, we had such an empowering conversation.
Thank you. That's my goal. My goal is always to, after someone watches me speak, hears me speak, tunes in, I always want them leaving with something that's going to change the rest of their life. And I'm really happy because I found out that on the Instagram Live, when I was on with you on RoyalTee Magazine Instagram Live, I helped change the way you're looking at things, which so I'm so honored. And I really,
it's that cross connection, that cross networking.
Well, I really value your brand. Your brand is for everyone. Your brand is out there helping people see the positive side of diversity. Now, and you're helping people see that we have different backgrounds. Like for myself, I'm a person who has a mixed background, and I bring that to the world through being a woman of color specifically. And what I really like about your magazine, your RoyalTee Magazine, is that you cater to articles that will make you think, and anyone can actually pick up these magazine articles and be touched by the information in it.
Right. We have 3 sections in the magazine, actually, and on the website, On the Go, On the Rise, Royal Woman, and Royal Men. I had to get shout out to my men because we recently are revamping co-ed. One of our top topics is our mental health. We talk about mental health. We talk about self-care, finance, health, love, relationships, beauty, fashion, career, and
that is amazing.
And just, I wanted to point out, not just for entrepreneurs, we celebrate our 9-to-5 career corporate builders as well, because there are so many, so many people who are just creating opportunities and making strides, even on the general 9-to-5. I mean, look at our teachers and what they've been able to accomplish in
Yes.
such a traumatic year, and we like to celebrate them. We celebrate motherhood, we celebrate fatherhood, we celebrate singlehood. When it's not your season, we celebrate each season that people are in their lives. And what I like to resonate with my audience is this, that transparency. I like to, well, I hope that you see the transparency, because I'm here, right here with you. I'm always learning, and I'm
It's
growing.
transparency. And
Yes.
your particular magazine, you have advertisers are coming to your magazine, and it is with anything that starts, whether it's whether it is a magazine or whether it's a space company. I mean, no matter way you look at it, there's always going to be people that will come and support you and sponsor different type of things, and you have to go out and actually seek that. As an entrepreneur, you have to find out who your audience is, find out what they need. For your particular magazine, you have an audience, and there's different type of companies that have products and would like to advertise and with their own print ads. What type of companies would you recommend specifically looking at your company investing with their advertising dollars, so they then can get to that market, which is I call it the people of color brilliance, which is the people who are really doing things and making a move. What type of companies would you call out for to know that you exist, to come and to share their advertising dollars so you can continue to spread this positive news with people?
Well, we cater towards national minority-owned companies. Doesn't have to be technically brick and mortar, but mortar. But we cater towards companies who services, whether that's in beauty, whether that's in career upbuilding materials, or if you have a service like that. We cater towards entertainment. We like authors, podcasters, any kind of self-care businesses. We love food. We have a section in our magazine called Hidden Gems. So we love going to like different cities and just checking out different companies and businesses that you may not know about, which is also on our On the Rise feature. And so we love businesses and brands that bring national appeal, whether you're in California, whether you're in New York, whether you're in Florida, that your business, wherever it's at, is going to have a national appeal and be royalty approved, and something that empowers and helps and motivates people to change, and that's going to enhance their lives or whatnot. So we love companies that celebrate diversity. We love companies that celebrate growth. We love companies who are innovative thinkers, who are always looking on how to take it to the next level, whether that's on the tech end, whether that's a new product that's coming out, because it's always every time you get used to a new product, here's another one coming out. A good example of that is Tia Mori's Answer vitamins. We love things about like that cater towards women's wellness, because that's another huge aspect in the magazine. We love talking about women's health, particularly the Black maternity health, since Black women are 3 times more likely to die than any other race when it comes to childbirth. So we love to raise awareness from that and educate younger women as well.
For Native American too.
And breast cancer. And breast cancer. So looking in the future, we're looking to shine more light and awareness on these things. And yeah, we love businesses and brands that celebrate those things. Yeah.
So but right before we go, I see great things for you, and anyone that comes on this show, great things happen for. That's just how it is. For you, 5 years from now, in the audience, I want you to tune in. I want you to remember. I want you to remember this podcast. In 5 years from now, that quantum deciding, where do you see yourself and your brand with your magazine, RoyalTee Magazine? Where do you see it 5 years from now, and how can we as an audience support you?
RoyalTee in 5 years is going to be a multimedia international empire. We're not only going to have the magazine, we're going to have the RoyalTee talk show. We're going to have our consulting business to help young, well, not just young business owner, but older one as well, executives get in front of the face of the media, learning how to communicate in the media, and also better target people of color and integrate diversity into their business. We're going to have RoyalTee Girls, which is our teen magazine. We're going to bring that back. We're going to have our workshops. We're going to have our mentoring services. I just see RoyalTee as a full service, well-oiled machine that's not only going to help just this generation, my generation, but the generations that are coming after me, fed by the wisdom of generations after me, who are just feeding into me in that mentorship. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to, as people feed into me, I want to feed into the people behind me as well. And also create a platform for, I'm a fan of, I'm a type of person that if I sit at the table, there's plenty of chairs around me to eat. Create a platform and create a way for someone who wants to come behind me and maybe want to do something similar. I'm here, and I want to be able to inspire that person and empower that person to go after and do whatever you want to do and be authentic in it.
Well, you do that now. You do that now.
Yeah.
You have interns. And how can interns find out about you? How can the public buy your magazine? And how can executives come to you to find out the steps in order to attract the media base in which they see?
To purchase the magazine at the moment, right now, you could go to our website, RoyalTeeMagazine.com. That's RoyalTee Magazine. Our summer edition is officially available July 30th. We're currently doing pre-orders right now, but after July 30th, it'll be available in both digital and print platform. We publish quarterly, spring, summer, fall, winter. Subscription details will be released shortly. So of course, keep in mind for that, follow RoyalTeeMagazine.com on Instagram. And for our interns, of course, we're always looking for interns for currently we're doing our summer. I love my summer babies. We'll soon be recruiting for the fall. That information will be posted on our website, on Instagram shortly. But to contact me directly for consulting, I offer consulting, I offer media coaching, I offer the mock interviews, because I come across, you'll be surprised about how many executives and supervisors who are called to do media interviews and they don't know how to do a media interview. So I provide media etiquette. Contact me, editor@royalteemagazine.com, and oh gosh, it's so much. Instagram, we're on YouTube.
Here we have
Thanks to my interns, we're on TikTok.
Well, you are spanning it. And I'd like to personally thank you for appearing here on Answers Unleashed. And again, we're in a pandemic and we are using virtual technology. So hopefully this comes out well for you. And tune in to us, and I thank you. And tune into and pick up a copy of RoyalTee Magazine. I am your host, Olympia LePoint, on Answers Unleashed. And Alexia, I want to thank you for being here on the show.
Thank you. And thank you for having me and sharing this platform with me.
You are welcome. It's my pleasure. Give us your website so people can go to your website.
Yes, please go to RoyalTeeMagazine.com. That's RoyalTee Magazine. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at RoyalTeeMag, RoyalTeeMag, and like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube page, where we will be posting our RoyalTee Talk segments and other treats and delights.
Well, there you have it. Thank you. And thank you to my audience, Answers Unleashed, for tuning in and watching this video on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and all the other sites in which you're tuning into. Find me on Instagram under my name, Olympia LePoint, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook under Olympia LePoint, and go to AnswersUnleashed.com for more videos. You can watch our podcast, you can check out our books, as well as you can look at our science news, where we talk about the pressing great news stories when it deals with science. And today, again, I am Olympia LePoint, host of Answers Unleashed. Check us out at AnswersUnleashed.com. And We'll see you next time.
Bye.